me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. You could take a look in a book, that's fine. Or you could sit back, relax, and unwind and read me romance. Read me romance.
Hey, lady listeners, welcome back to a new week at Read Me Romance. My name is Leah. I am half of Alexa Riley. This week, I'm here by myself again. Mel is on vacation. So this week, we are bringing you a brand new book called Safe Word by Amelia Wilde. And I'm the one that gets the honor to tell you everything about her and all her great stuff and how freaking sweet she was in our conversations about being on the podcast and sending her stuff. And she was just an absolute doll to work with. So I'm super excited that I get to be the one to present this week. So Amelia Wilde is a USA Today best-selling author of steamy contemporary romance and loves it a little too much. She lives in Michigan with her husband and daughters. She spends most of her time typing furiously on an iPad and appreciating the natural splendor of her home state from where she likes it best, inside. I hear you, girl. Same. The book you're going to listen to this week, again, is called Safe Word. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear it because I'm going to read you the blurb because I love how she broke this down. And then she explains like kind of how the series developed around this and all the other books that are included with this. So if you like what you listen to today, you're in for a treat because there's a lot more to go with it. So like I said, you're about to listen to Safe Word. And this is the book blurb for that. A gentleman doesn't kiss and tell. Dev Madden has its darkest secrets in plain sight. How? Easy. By being a workaholic. Sunup to sundown, he's a company man. But when his boss rolls out a surprise company-wide shutdown, an enforced vacation, Dev finds himself facing down a summer with his careful protective routine in ruins. Blindsided and desperate to work through his pain, Dev seeks comfort the only way he knows how, on his knees. Except this time, it's not a nameless stranger he finds at the club. It's Caspian, the man he's been quietly obsessed with for 2 long years. Caspian gives Dev what he needs, but it'll cost him. The price? Dev's secrets and his heart. So great. Super excited for this one. So, and again, this might be something that you're not like reading for most of the time. Like if you're not, or maybe if you're just new to reading male romance, or this isn't something you pick up on a regular basis, this is a great way to start because this is fantastic. The audio on it is awesome. I did get to listen to a little preview before, so that was really exciting. But, if you like what you're about to listen to, if you're listening to it and you're like, I love this, I want more, connected in the Safe Word like series. One of the heroes in Safe Word is Dev Madden. He's the beloved side character in her Hill Brothers series, which is about 3 brothers and her sister Remy, who stay together in the wake of their parents' death. When Mason, the oldest, is only 18. Mason, Gabriel and Jameson, the billionaire Hill brothers, each have a complete trilogy to binge, and Remy's standalone romance will release in 2025. You can read about the Hill brothers beginning with Net Worth. That's the first book in the series. So if you like what you're listening to and you want to go to the beginning, grab Net Worth and you can listen to the entire series with that. As far as like new on sale free right now, she recently completed the Wedding Bliss duet. Oh my God, these names are so cute for this book series too. I just had to throw that in there. It's featuring a fake engagement that turns absolutely real. Jacob and Catherine are some of her all-time favorite characters because they have such a good time together, even when things are going plane crash level bad. The Wedding Bliss duet includes Dearly Beloved and Dearly Departed, which she says are some of her all-time favorite titles. And I can see why, because that's just fucking cute as hell. So I love it. Amelia Wilde's next release will be the final book in her Divine Mythology mega series. Also about, you guessed it, 3 billionaire brothers with very dark pasts. This series has a Greek mythology twist, so Hades, Zeus, and Poseidon each have their own dark billionaire trilogy. Demeter, the villainous sister, I think that's how you say it. Is it Demeter? I've heard it before, but I'm so lost. Let me just admit a secret, guys. Okay, don't tell anybody, but it wasn't until very recently that I found out that the Greek mythology people were not real. I'm just going to say it. I thought like it was based on actual things like Zeus and Poseidon and Hades. Look, I don't need people to explain to me how that can't possibly be real. I just thought it was. And it was like history, like the Roman Empire. And then I thought, was the Roman Empire fake when I found out the other stuff was fake? You know what? Back to the scheduled program. Okay, so her Greek mythology twist. So Hades, Zeus, and Poseidon each have their own dark billionaire trilogy. Demeter, their villainous sister, will finally tell her full story in Nightshade. So the sister's book is gonna release later in October, but it's gonna be exclusively on her website. So if you love Greek mythology and twists and all those like really big epic mythology fantasy series, this is a great way to do it too, especially if you can get this on her website. So make sure you check that out. It's called Nightshade. That comes out later this month. She's also working on an all-new trilogy that will hopefully release in 2025. Amelia said she won't give away too much, but says that it's inspired by a retelling of one of her absolute favorite classics. She said she loves writing about divine mythological characters falling in love in modern times. Amelia has, this is my favorite part. You guys know I've been doing this for the past several authors where I ask them for like a fun fact or, just something interesting or anything they want to tell our lady listeners to give a little bit of an insight on them. And I thought this was really cute. Amelia said she has an iced latte with dark caramel sauce every single day. And that is a lady after my own heart because that sounds fucking delicious. She loves playing pickleball, although she's very bad at it. Again, I didn't know this was a real thing until recently. I thought that was fake but it turns out it's real. So you know what? Fool me once, I'm a fool because I think everything is real or fake, depending on the scenario. Either way. So she's not very good at it. She usually likes to put that kind of thing in her books, but she hasn't gotten around to writing a pickleball romance yet. So maybe in 2025. She said if she does, she'll definitely slip in a mention of her personal favorite paddle and the one she always plays with, which is a Scorpius by Joola, Joola. I think that's how you say it. Listen, if you play pickleball, I think that's really cool because the reason I found out that this is a real thing is because they're building a court like next to me because a lot of people play it. I think that's really neat. So I don't know. She said she didn't think it was an interesting fact, but I thought it was. So there you go, Amelia. Suck it. You can find Amelia Wilde. She is most active on Facebook, especially in her Facebook group. It's called Let's Get Wild, Wilde, spelled just like her last name. Love it. Love the pun and the play on word. Super cute. So make sure you check her out there. And then, I think that's everything for like all this. I know that's a lot to throw at you at once, but we're just hitting the highlights today. Okay. I will put everything down in the show notes. I'll make sure stuff is down there so you can click it and it'll take you to all of Amelia Wilde's good stuff. I can't wait for you to listen to this week's episode. So I think that's it. Okay. Hold on. You're going to listen to it now. So I'm going to see you guys on the other side. All right. Bye.
The last thing I put on every morning is my watch. Leather band, creased from the clasp, traditional face, fits like I've worn it every day for 20 years. Then it's on to an iced latte, made at home to avoid negotiations over dark caramel sauce. A quick scroll on my phone to check for emergencies at Phoenix. In the back of the company car by 5 after 8, emails en route. I'm on the executive floor at Phoenix headquarters by 8:30. The hours pull me through by the force of their momentum, which is, of course, Mason Hill's momentum. It would be counterproductive to work for a man like Mason, to be his right hand, and attempt to go in any other direction. In the beginning, it feels like a lifetime ago now, my duties often included getting my boss where he needed to go in a physical sense. Mason Hill has a reputation of mythical proportions. Even then, he was known for never sitting down in meetings, always maintaining postural dominance. Consider this. Every myth is rooted in reality. The rest is illusion. The stories people tell about the Mason Hill who rose from the ashes of his parents' murders to become a beacon of goodness and a fantastically wealthy man will leave out the times he stood at the head of the table in his finest meeting room, pale with pain and utterly alone, until I came to help him back to his office. They'll leave out the grief that crushed him every summer like clockwork. They'll leave out the late nights when I thought he might actually tear his hair out. That's because a myth is straightforward in retrospect. The fall comes first, 4 stories, onto concrete, followed by a short struggle. Then, finally, triumph, all the pain erased and forgotten. Mason and his siblings aren't myths. They're flesh and blood humans. So there has to be someone else. Someone to shut Mason's office door and redirect his calls so he could sleep for an hour instead of losing his mind. Someone to intercept emails and put out small fires before they became large ones. Someone to call school secretaries and smooth over forgotten permission slips and misplaced lunch money and at least some of the trials and tribulations of the day. That person was me. That person remains me, though Mason and his family have made it out of the proverbial fire. In the story of the Hills, I don't play a starring role, but I'm always there, more structural than decorative, making sure they're all right. I'll be there, because I've seen people fall before. I've let them slip through my fingers and lost them forever. I'll be there because on the day I met Mason Hill, he was falling. I had the chance to catch him, so I did. Not because he was my family, precisely because he wasn't. It's safer that way. You're on vacation. Mason, Mr. Hill, when we're in professional company, stands behind his desk, his son Robin on his hip. Robin wears a solemn, office-appropriate expression as he rests a chubby hand on his father's shoulder and peers down at the desk. He's found the jar of M&Ms. It would catch anyone's attention. He deserves it. Robin's been putting in far too many hours lately. I hit send on an email and pocket my phone. Mason probably means a long weekend, an extended pool day at a wealthy friend's house. During one pool day at Mason's friend's house, I saw the man who's haunted my dreams for 2 years. Haunted might not be the best word. Caspian. Dark eyes, dark hair, a smile like a promise, has starred in my dreams for 23 months. I'm neither keeping track of the time nor thinking about Caspian. Mason glances across the desk at me. I meant you, Dev, and you know it. I'm not taking a vacation. Even now, my phone buzzes with incoming emails. Phoenix hums all around us, generating absurd amounts of money and property and social capital. Mason's business employs hundreds of people across the city and the country, and it's my job to watch over it. We're all going on vacation. House, Robin cries. Daddy's house with the water. Yes, Mason answers, beaming. The house with the water. We're going upstate to my new lakeside. Robin flips forward, struggling to get down, and Mason bends to put him on his feet. Property. Massive as hell. Multiple buildings, room for guests and friends. Sounds lovely. You're coming too. I give Mason a once-over. There haven't been signs of an impending breakdown this year, but it is early June, when the onset usually starts. He looks back at me, dark-haired, green-eyed, determined. Robin climbs onto Mason's desk chair. Mason puts him back on the floor, then keeps him there with the few M&Ms, which Robin takes with him under Mason's desk. This is your company, I remind Mason when he faces me again. Phoenix Enterprises. It has a net worth of over... Yes. Mason waves his hand like his billions are gnats. Phoenix makes a fuckload of money. That's why I'm giving everybody the summer off. My brain grinds to a halt. What summer? This one. I'm extremely successful, and that means everyone can take a vacation. It's paid leave, Dev. Don't look so appalled. Why shouldn't I look appalled? This is appalling. Mr. Hill, you can't just... Don't Mr. Hill me. Mason, for Christ's sake, you can't just shut down the company for... You can't seriously mean the entire summer. You're right. I don't mean the entire summer. I mean from now until the 1st of September. That's the entire summer. Oh, then I mean the entire summer. That is impossible. We cannot drop everything and flounce off to some sprawling vacation property upstate. Phoenix is my life. Without its structure, without it, what am I supposed to... I can't live without its structure. Where are you going? No idea how I got to the door of Mason's office. I turn back and stare at him, my gut cold, my chest painfully hot, zero ability to hide my incredulity. To set up a war room. No need. Everybody's been winding down. We'll be ready to pick it all up in September. The angle of the light coming through his office window, late afternoon on a long June day, stops my heart. What the... Robin giggles under the desk. What the actual hell are you talking about, Mason? There won't be anything left. It'll be far too fucking late. Mason blinks. No, it won't. I've made plans for... You made plans? Who checked them over? We did. Jameson, Jamie Hill, strolls in with his son, younger than Robin, in a pack on his back. He bounces on the balls of his feet as Gabriel, the Middle Hill brother, enters the office after him. We figured out the best vacation plan through our combined ingenuity. You okay? Fine. I'm fine. Jesus Christ. My face feels simultaneously scorched and bloodless. Have you sent contact information in case of an emergency? I'll need the address. The brothers exchange a glance. Mace. Gabriel makes the syllable melodic and somehow lighthearted. Didn't you tell him about the place? I did. Jameson pats my shoulder. No judgment if you don't like lakes. We thought you'd be down. Who would be down with losing their job on a random Friday? This is company-wide, Dev. You're not losing your job, Mason says. No, my job is disappearing until the 1st of September. And who's to say what happens then? It could be dead. All of them stare at me. I want to be sick. I mean, fuck. The situation might not be tenable in September. You mean the situation with the company? Jameson continues bouncing. His son, Henry, Habby, is passed out on his shoulder, cheeks pink. Because that's going to be fully tenable. I'm dying. The situation with me. I can't commit to September under these circumstances. You need longer? Mason's brow furrows. Robin's hands appear at the edge of the desk, and then his head pokes up, eyes wide. He's after more M&Ms. What if you took a week upstate? See how you feel. I don't think I will, thanks. I told you he doesn't like surprises, Jameson stage whispers. Should have planned for that. Dev, I'm sorry. Mason's sincere, and my shock ignites into full-blown rage. We tried to think of everything so you wouldn't worry. We thought, since you're one of us. No. I've surpassed the appropriate volume for speaking to my boss of over a decade by a job-destroying number of decibels. Regardless, it has the necessary effect of stopping Mason from saying anything else and stopping me from stroking out. No, I'm not. Don't ever say that again. No one says a word. You have my email. I manage. Send me contact information or an official termination letter. I don't care which. There's nothing else to add. I turn my back on all of them and leave. I'm barely breathing, so I misjudge the width of the door I've walked through thousands of times. My wrist hits the mortise on the doorframe at just the right angle. The glass on my watch face cracks. My wrist broke too. It's killing me. I know that's not what happened, but it's all I can think about. I'll never be able to fix the glass. It will never be how it was. My driver waits at the curb. I get into the SUV, and then I'm getting out at my building with no memory of the trip. I'm at my door with no memory of the elevator. I'm in the shower with no memory of turning it on or even taking off my watch. I must have done it so carefully. I'm out again, dressed in the back of another car. Sunset came and went while I was inside, a decent part of the evening, too. I don't think about it. I don't think about anything. Not the churning terror in the pit of my stomach, not the breathless pain in my chest, not the watch. I'm not one of them. I'm not going on some surprise fucking vacation. I'm not going to stick my hand in an open flame and watch it burn. An address in Midtown. Art Deco, some 50 stories. I could be here for any number of reasons. I am here for a members-only club on the 18th floor. Nothing about the space suggests anything other than an upscale bar. Upholstered sofas and chairs in a neutral color palette, strategically placed. Indirect lighting. Music at a low volume. I'm here for a stranger. Requisite qualities: nameless, confident, controlled. If he's handsome, fine. My ass has barely touched the first available bar stool when I come to my senses. This is a mistake. I'm not thinking clearly. I put my broken, useless watch back on after I got dressed, just like I always do, and every move I make feels apocalyptic. The glass could shatter at any moment. I could shatter at any moment. And then what? There would be options. That's the purpose of coming to a club like this and not a bar. If something happens, the details will go no further than the doors. Drink? How long has the bartender been waiting for me to answer? No. Away from the bar, toward the exit. A hand on my arm. Wait. I shake them off. No, everything's broken beyond repair. I'm leaving. I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. Nothing so dramatic comes out of my mouth. Nothing comes out of my mouth at all. The touch returns to my arm. Wait. He's not any louder, but the slightest emphasis, the slightest added resonance, transforms the word from request to command. I come to a simmering halt and turn toward whoever it is. What do you want? I want you to wait for a minute before you leave. I'm leaving now. You haven't left yet. Oh, for fuck's sake. We're a step away from the glass doors. My heart hammers in my ears. It takes several blinks to clear my vision of furious shadows. The man's face comes into view. I can't place him. Not in a dark suit, navy, with a crisp white t-shirt underneath. Not here, in this club. Because the last time I saw him, he was wearing a pair of red swim trunks and being tackled into a pool. Caspian looks every bit as confident and controlled and handsome as I want, but he's not a stranger. You can't be here. The corner of Caspian's mouth quirks. My membership is up to date. I've never seen you here before. First time for everything. My blood rushes even louder. The air conditioning drops to a wintry level, freezing me from head to toe. I can't do this. I can't have this conversation. I can't understand why Caspian's here. I can't think, except to be aware of the club and the people in it, and how I'll never be able to come back. When the panicked blur fades, Caspian's hand is still on my arm. You came here for something, didn't you? He asks. That doesn't matter. You came here for a reason. Did I? I'm being an asshole. Caspian won't put up with it. I'll push and he'll let go of my arm and leave. He looks into my eyes like he can see the pulse pounding in my temples and the knot in my chest and the unavoidable knowledge that everything is ruined. You came here because you need to go down. Part of me thrills to his matter-of-fact confidence. Another part cowers. That preference isn't supposed to be so obvious. I've gone to great lengths to hide it, not because there's anything shameful in liking what I like and needing what I need, but because it would be too risky and too revealing to admit it. I can put you where you need to be. I only do that with strangers. Pretend I'm a stranger then. Forget we were ever introduced. I've thought of Caspian with my fist around my cock too many times to forget how he surfaced in that damned pool and smiled at me. Two choices. He holds up two fingers. Sit with me here and have something to drink, or come to my room and have something to drink. Don't I also have the option to leave? Obviously. But if you go, I'm dropping you off at your doorstep. I can get home by myself. Never said you couldn't. Oh, nothing I say is going to get under his skin, is it? I can unbalance him as much as a ripple from a pebble would unbalance an oil tanker. I could pretend he's a stranger if I had to. I can't pretend any part of me wants him to let go. Fine. Caspian's eyes light as if I've pleased him with my begrudging, dickish answer. Here or my room. If we stay here, I might get myself under control. I might be able to refrain from tearing my rules to shreds and destroying the last intact part of my life. Your room. Caspian's room isn't a hotel room. It's a condo on the 21st floor. That detail should mean something to me, but by the time we've stepped across the threshold to the studio, I'm in no position to care. The clock started ticking the moment I agreed to go with him. Now I'm out of time. He shuts the door with a hand next to my head, crowding me against it while he flips the lock. Several things become clear in quick succession. The first, Caspian is taller by a couple of inches, but vastly stronger, his strength hidden by lean muscle. It crackles between us at the first brush of his hips against mine. The second, he was pretending before in the club. He was confident, yes. Commanding, yes. But the first real contact, the push against the door, sends a familiar sensation shivering down my spine. I grab his lapels and put my weight behind the grip instinctively. Caspian doesn't budge. If anything, he leans in closer as he touches my face. The third, I'm a wreck. I don't know how long I've been shaking. I don't know how I got up here without being sick. Denial, probably, and it must have been powerful enough to keep me on my feet. Now I don't trust my legs or my balance. Caspian's hand leaves the lock for my waist, his other hand gentle on my cheek. It only occurs to me that my heart is thundering loud enough to block out his voice when his lips move without making any sound. He moves his palm down to my chest and spreads his fingers wide. My heart beats against them like it's on the outside. It takes time to remember to breathe. You're okay, Caspian says, his voice level. There you are. I knew you wouldn't go overboard, see? You're fine. I'm not, but at least I'm getting oxygen to my brain. At least I can tilt my chin up. At least Caspian understands what I'm asking for, and he can pin me hard against the door and kiss me. Then there's nothing to focus on but his mouth, and his hand on my chin, and how he tilts my face to the angle he likes so he can kiss me deeper. He tastes like mint and bourbon and sugar. If he was a drink, he'd burn going down, but it would be so fucking pleasant. The cold doesn't want to give me up. It shows its face, fear and panic and grief, then fades under the heat of us. He smells like a salt breeze, faintly spicy and sun-warmed. Too easy, Caspian says into my mouth. Fuck off. I don't regularly tell people to fuck off. Tonight I can't help it. He stares into my eyes, his grip on my chin tightening. I'm not going to fuck off. I'm not easy. I expect Caspian to argue, but his eyes soften. No. You're not easy. You're high-strung and secretive and bratty. Fuck off. And you're a pain in the ass to convince of anything. I didn't mean you were easy like that. I meant you go down easy. Tell me I'm wrong. Caspian isn't wrong. He's not wrong about any of it, except how does he know? I can see you. That's how I know. I didn't ask. You didn't have to. It's written all over your face. There's nowhere to hide. If I want him to keep pinning me against this door, and I do, then I'm going to have to accept the truth. Part of it, at least. I want to give in. I was on the edge, and he knows it. I do not intend to relax, and don't know I've done it until Caspian makes an approving sound. His hand returns to my cheek. Give me your limits. This part, at least, is easy. I've listed off my limits many times before. Not as often as I've wanted to, but enough to keep me level-headed during the times of the year I need it most. Now give me your word, Caspian says, softer. Then you can go down as far as you need. Zip tie. He nods. Want to move somewhere else? What I want is for every one of my senses to be overwhelmed by him so I don't have to remember a single awful thing. I can't say that, so I reach for Caspian's hair, bury my fingers in it, and pull him in. Now that he has explicit permission, he kisses me harder. So deep it takes my breath away. With so much confidence, and yes, command, that I slip down and down and down, long before I would with a stranger. He is a stranger. He is. After tonight, this won't have happened. Tomorrow doesn't matter. What matters is that I know he's strong enough to push me under and pull me back up. What matters is that the worst of the pain stops being my problem. It's none of my business. Not once someone else has taken over. He breaks the kiss sometime later. All the blood in my body is charged down to my cock, and I'm overheated in my clothes, but I don't care. Caspian apparently does. Come on. A disgruntled noise comes out of my mouth. Don't fuss. Come on. He takes me by the wrist and we go deeper into the condo. There's plenty of ambient city light from the windows, so Caspian doesn't turn on any lamps. He hands me a drink, which turns out to be water, and I drink it, resenting him for his cool patience. Lucky for me, he doesn't spend long on bullshit like making me drink water. Time slips, and we're by the sofa, Caspian's fingers on the buttons of my shirt. He rids me of everything but my briefs, then takes my other wrist in his hand and angles it toward the windows. What happened to this watch? I yank my hand back, gorge rising. Then I claw back my dignity and tell Caspian the broken face was an accident and means nothing. Or, alternatively, my vision blurs. It's hard to breathe. When I can see and inhale again, Caspian has both arms around me, his chest to my back, and is in the process of prying my fingers away from the watch one at a time. I'm going to put it aside. There's no nervousness in his voice. He doesn't sound particularly surprised to have had this happen. He sounds like he might have prepared for this to happen. The glass could cut you. Let go. The glass is already cutting me, judging by a thin streak of pain on the meat of my middle finger. I don't want to let go. But 2 words out of Caspian's mouth, and it seems ridiculous to keep holding on. Good. 1 word. The warmth of the entire fucking sun. His fingers are quick on the leather band. Caspian keeps the watch in full view as he places it on a table next to the sofa. Then he sits, feet planted, and I go to my knees, my fists in his shirt, bracketed by muscled thighs. The shrieking animal part of my brain curls up and goes into hiding. Why wouldn't it? It's logical for me to be here. It makes perfect sense. My body has gotten away from me again. I discover that when Caspian kisses me back down. This time I float. This time it's going to stick. I'm going to be able to stay. It's quiet, a whisper of air conditioning, the suggestion of city noise outside the window, when Caspian pulls back enough for his eyes to move over my face. The corner of his mouth does that pleased quirk again. That's better, isn't it? Yes. What else do you need? It happens again. I have a response in my mind, and my body does something altogether different. It tries to pull away. Caspian doesn't let me. Why couldn't I stay? Why couldn't I just sink? Where you are. That's it. No following seas here, Christ almighty. No wonder. Dev, I need you back here. Fuck. My mouth is dry. Fuck off. There he is. Time to tell me what's going on with you. I can't. You can't or you won't. There aren't any words, not right now. I can't. He watches me in silence. My heart should beat faster, with his dark eyes focused intently on my face, but it beats slower, settling down. The light floating feeling returns and grows. I want him. Physically, obviously. And I want something else. Something worse. Something terrifying. But there's a chance he'll call this off entirely. That he'll see what a wreck I am and decide I can't handle this. Any other day, I'd probably agree. Any other day, I'd think it was more responsible to go home and survive this alone. This isn't any other day. Can you hear me? I lost control again. I'm still floating, but dread falls through that space like a pebble and sinks. If Caspian wants to end this, if he insists on ending this, I'll let him talk me into thinking it's reasonable. I'll let him see me to my door, if that's what he wants. Yes, if I focus, I can. I want to push you. I don't need... What? Should I even be relieved? I am. You're capsized. I'd even say you were turtled. You think I'm an upside-down boat? Caspian flicks his eyes toward the ceiling. In this metaphor, yes. If I wasn't so distracted, I could think of something fancier to say. Distracted by what? By you. His eyes skate over my lips. You have to know how you look. Yeah? And he's modest, too. It's the truth. I do know. Then you know you need to be righted. I've heard that's not easy. I've heard it's a real pain in the ass. I've heard a lot of boats just sink and people leave them on the ocean floor. It's safer and easier to let them go. Didn't say it was easy. Caspian's eyes are intent on my face. Said I wanted to try. It's up to you to give me a yes or no. Or a zip tie. I pinch my lips together in case zip tie sneaks out. I don't want it to. I don't want this to stop. And Caspian might be right. I might be turtled or whatever the hell he thinks. There's something at the center of the hazy, floating feeling. Something like cracked glass, waiting to be broken or to finish breaking. Would it be so bad if I let him do it? Okay, yes. Try. I'm close enough, and there's just enough light to see his pupils blow. An instant of silence. Then we leave calm waters behind for rougher seas. I was right about the control and the command. I was right that Caspian was holding back. He's no less controlled, but a vessel that wants to stay afloat has to react to the water it's sailing in. If I'm an upside-down boat, Caspian is a ship that's made to survive a storm. More than survive, he's going to confront it directly. He hauls me to my feet and pins me against the nearest wall. Bits of moonlight land in his eyes and hover in the dark like pinprick stars. He presses harder at my hip, my collarbone, my shoulder. His hot mouth on my skin, testing my flesh with his teeth. Baiting. He's baiting me. Caspian lets out a satisfied laugh when I test him back. He circles my wrist with a strong hand. I shake it off. He redoubles his grip. Caspian catches my bottom lip between his teeth. I bite him, and he nips back until I'm trapped against the wall, mouth open to be licked and tasted, and to breathe whenever he lets me. Lets me have air, then takes it away. lets me dig my fingers into his sides, then angles himself out of my reach. Lets me pull him closer, then pushes his knee between my thighs. He lets me grind into him once, wild, and pulls away. I can't stop the growl that comes out of me. "Look at that," he says, his tone gentling, and it's offensive, truly wrong that so much of him is covered by his clothing. "Yes," he hisses when I shove his jacket off his shoulders. Can't stand these fucking clothes. My nails scratch his skin in the frenzy of getting them off, but he doesn't seem to notice. He slots his leg between my thighs, rougher this time, and lets out a low, pleased sound when I rut against him. I don't know who I am anymore when I bare my teeth. The Caspian does. His eyes glint, and then it's a tussle. His strength against mine. I put everything I have into the battle. I push at him, shove, claw. I get a flash of a smile like a knife, and then he has both his hands around my wrists with an incredible amount of leverage. I fight that too. I can't stop. I'm beyond stopping. One of my legs goes, then the other, and then I'm on my knees, Caspian's hand in my hair, his fingers curled, tilting my face up so I have to look at him. There he is. There. Caspian looks down at me, seeing everything. I become aware of my body like he must see it. Pounding heart, trembling muscles, fast, shallow breaths. It dawns on me slowly that I'm seeing everything too. The gleam in his eyes, the suggestion of a smile, the ease in him, like he could have taken me to my knees whenever he wanted and didn't because he likes the struggle and the victory. Caspian seems to make a decision. He keeps his eyes on mine as he reaches for a zipper. Metal scrapes on metal. He pushes at cloth until his cock springs free. I don't pull so much as I let my arms get heavier. Caspian's fingers tighten in a steely hold. It's a wordless answer, and my next breath is thinner. There's a brightness in the haze, warmth, recognition. He's letting me see the want in him. He's letting me feel it through the grip around my wrists. In this single moment of tension, he's as open to me as I am to him. As I could be to him. Caspian releases my wrists deliberately, like he'd ease out a sheet on a sailing vessel. His eyes make it entirely clear that he's not relinquishing control. He's taking what he wants. His hands move to my head, angling me in, and everything fades away but his touch and his cock. When I'm like this, I appreciate all the small details. The proud heft, the silky soft skin, flushed red, the weeping tip. When I'm like this, I normally retain all my self-control. I bring it with me to these rooms, with these men, and I never let it slide. So I'm surprised when I find my fingers digging into Caspian's thighs. I'm genuinely shocked by the pressure of his hands holding my head still. It registers all at once, along with his laugh. "I knew it," he says. "Doesn't know when to stop." Maybe I don't. Maybe all I know is that I need his cock in my mouth. I need to fight for some of the power in this situation. I'm doing it before I know it. And there are his hands again. There's that pressure at my head. No. Another firm command. No. I go still. Every muscle straining to get close to him and to stay where he's put me. It aches like a bruise. Frustration burns through me, but I know from the expression on his face that begging will do no good. I don't know what I'd say. The English language is gone. All I can do is watch him. He's talking. Misunderstanding. I wasn't clear. This isn't about you. My mouth drops open. Caspian takes the opportunity to run the pad of his thumb over my lower lip. "This isn't about you," he says again, and some small inflection in his tone makes my cock twitch. I'm not aware of doing anything, but I must change something, because his hands adjust on my head. "There. Now you understand." You've been good for too long, haven't you? I shake my head, the bruised feeling getting deeper. I wasn't good today. I was an unhinged prick. Though I haven't said anything, Caspian shushes me, thumbs gliding over my temples. You got to where you need to be. I'll keep you there. Something untwists in a central part of me. If he'd told me to stay, I would be nothing but a failure. I can't do it myself. Not tonight. This is where I want you. Caspian works his thumb between my teeth to open my mouth wider. All you need to think about is what I want. He tips my head back so it rests in the cradle of his fingers. I can't stay where he wants and get closer. Does he mean to make me wait? If he does, I have no choice but to give the weight of my head to his hands. That's it, he says, delight in his voice like a flame. Good boy. Desperate heat flashes across my hips. I want more of that. I'll stay still and feel this if that's what it takes. Caspian steps closer, and I wait for an eternity before he says another quiet, good boy, and slides his cock into my mouth. I'm so very in my body that every sense screams. The carpet is viciously soft under my knees. Caspian's hands are torturously gentle on my head. He fucks my throat with a stream of absent encouragements, as if he's imparting ancient wisdom to a person who's hearing it for the first time. Keep your throat open. Like that. Fuck, Dev. Perfect. Swallow. Breathe. No. Good. Stay where you are. Stay where you... Yes. He lets out a grunt. Fuck. Your mouth. Oh, Christ. Do that again. Yes. Right? Yes. In the boundaries of where he's put me, I can only move my tongue. The world becomes very simple. I do it again. Again. Caspian makes another sound, this one needier, and his cock pulses inside my mouth. Salt on my tongue and more salt. I'm on the edge of a monumental discovery. It's just beyond this point. If I could only get... He steps back, keeping my head in place. I swallow a whine. Caspian's hands flex, and then he pulls me upright and crushes his mouth to mine. He kisses me the same way he fucked my throat, like I belong to him. When he pulls away, his eyes are dark and his lips are shiny, and his sharp expression reminds of canine teeth. This isn't about you. He sounds slightly breathless. No, it's not. The words come thoughtlessly. No, it's about you. A glittering smile. What do I want from you? I can't think of an answer. My mouth answers for me. To take it. Do you know when to stop? The memory of his voice seems like it comes from centuries ago. Doesn't know when to stop. No. Do you decide when to stop? No. What do you say if you have to stop? That's a warning if I've ever heard one. Distantly, my nerves kick into gear. It's not enough to overpower the desperate, frantic need in the rest of me. I say, even the thought has a bitter taste. I say, zip tie. Are you saying that now? No, please no. He smiles again, shushes me again, takes us to the bed. I thought I had been down before. I thought I'd stayed down before. I thought I knew what subspace was, or what it was supposed to be, or what it was for me. I was wrong. There's another level to the pleasant haze I've descended into, and I find it face down on the bed, my arms wrapped around a pillow and my vision blanked out with pleasure. It's a layered sensation. Caspian's sturdy weight driving me into the mattress via one of his arms, slung over my back to keep me pinned. His other hand wrapped around my cock. His mouth. His mouth. His mouth. I can't remember the last time I was rimmed with this level of enthusiasm. I can't remember much at all when Caspian's doing that with his tongue. And usually, on the rare occasion I break down and come to the club, I'm the one who... it doesn't matter. Everything is dark and shimmering when he stops. There's a little light, a soft glow from somewhere nearby. Caspian coaxes my arms from around the pillow with the same kind of gentle insistence he used when his cock was down my throat. He puts my arms behind my back, binds them. I must make some sound because he shushes me and runs his warm, wide hand down my spine. Then one of his palms is braced at the small of my back. With his other hand, he traces slow circles on the backs of my thighs until I'm dropped into the position, caught there, held there. There's a lot of lube, and one of his fingers circles my hole and presses in and in and in. A deep breath, a long exhale. That's right. You take it. You're taking it so well. Such a good boy. Oh, you like that. Should have known. Don't worry, I know now. You stay right here with me. He spends forever opening me. 2 fingers, 3, back to 2. It occurs to me in the middle of those eons that he's not just talking, he's answering. Whatever filter I walked in here with is gone. Please, I hear myself say. Please, I need. I know, Caspian murmurs. Be patient, be... Good boy. Yes, here. He climbs over me, balances, and then his mouth is at my ear. How's that? Good, I gasp, because he's already pressing in, thank fucking God. Safe. He kisses my temple. That's right. A hand on my nape is an anchor. All of me locks into place. My body is no longer a concern. There's only miles and miles of open pleasure. Caspian over me like the sun. I am never still like this, never. I'm always swimming, treading water, kicking and kicking. Now I'm drowned in sensation. Caspian fills me with every stroke, changing his angle according to some map I don't understand, until I realize it's the sounds I'm making. The force of it, the power and the thrust and the motion only crystallizes when Caspian stills. I have 1 second to think, he's the ocean, before he lifts me upright like he's pulling me out of deep water. My head hits his shoulder. I'm arched over my bound arms, Caspian's hand at my collarbone, a whisper away from my throat. His other hand, slick with lube, wraps around my shaft. On me, he says. I'm going to push you over, and you're going to come, understand? I make a sound in the affirmative. I'm not going to stop, he says, slower, clearer. Once you come, I'm not going to stop. Okay, I think I say. And then he's a break wall. Then I'm a thrashing tide. The pleasure ratchets up until it's so huge I can't see past it, until it's yanked down to my belly and twisted into heat and need and pressure that builds and builds and builds until it shatters. Caspian holds me against him, cursing, and fucks me through the most intense orgasm of my life. He comes inside me, hot and endless, and then it does end. He pulls out. No. Why? And I'm on my knees, my face in the pillows. He pushes 2 fingers into me, deep, and finds my prostate while his other hand finds my oversensitized cock. I can't move at all. I don't consider moving. I'm balanced exactly as I was before, body at angles that won't let it fall. I want this, Caspian says. I want you to take this. Stay here. They're simple words against overwhelming, all-consuming sensation. It's like sparks, fire, overfilled lungs, sound vibrating through glass, high and ringing. I'm so far under that there's nothing left of me but Caspian. Every inhale is a sunrise. Every exhale is a sob. That high ringing, it's of me and from me. I haven't imagined any shuddering vibration. That's of me too, of muscles braced on bone, balanced on the threshold between effort and surrender. There's nothing to do but cross. Caspian's voice returns. There's a rhythm to this, a pulse. It's his fingers and his hand inside me, outside of me, everywhere. He's driving me towards something bright and unbearable, made bearable because he wants it to be. Yes, he's solid, a seawall, a lighthouse. Not much longer now. That's it. That's it. That's right. I know I'm at the edge only seconds before I go over. It's less a drop than a surge. Something cracks, and for a few moments it's only sound that spills out of me. A sound I don't recognize. A sound I've never made before. My lungs expand on a wave of euphoria like pure oxygen. There's only silence in the pause between inhale and exhale. Only stillness. I could hold my breath forever. A loud thud echoes through my ears, dissipating into a dark expanse. Another thud. My heartbeat. That's my own living heartbeat. I'm still here. Still here. That pure, clean air rushes out of me in a mechanical ejection. It's the working of a body that's still alive. More life throbs horrendously in my ears, and then it's like breathing underwater, desperate and pointless and searing. I fight it. I always fight it. I don't want air. I don't want working lungs. I don't want shattered glass brokenness. I was a fool. Oh God, I was a fool. Because I can't put it back together. I don't know I'm trying to escape. I don't know that Caspian has untied my wrists until his arms go around my chest and he pulls me back onto the bed. We're not even all the way on it. I'm still struggling. I'll always be struggling. I'll never stop. And it can't be easy for him to hold me here. It's certainly not fucking easy for me to try to get away. I can't breathe, I tell him, my voice strange like it's not my voice at all. I can't breathe. I can't do this. I'm not going to stop, he says in that same calm, immovable tone. Stay in it. No, stay. I can't. I can't. I can't. On the other side of the threshold, there's nothing but pain. I let him bring me here, but I understand in a howling, horrible way that he can't bring me back. Let me go. No. Let me go, you asshole. You psychopath. You... If you want to leave, you know what to say. I can't. Because I don't want to leave. Because I don't think I can. And because zip tie has been forced into its original shape. Blue and inoffensive, a cheap piece of plastic around hardware meant for a lock, letting the door open only enough to fit my hand through. Cass, I choke on his name. It's the safest word I know. Caspian, please. I'm with you. You weren't supposed to know. I meant to use the same voice I've used at Phoenix Enterprises since the very first day. The words come out wet and ugly and rough instead. The heat on my face tracking down my cheeks makes bewildering, belated sense. I remember the last time I cried. I remember the sound of the zip tie finally breaking. I remember hearing, like it came from someone else, my own begging and pleading and sobbing when I couldn't deny, when I had to see. No one was supposed to know. Caspian makes soothing, reassuring sounds. Words, probably, though I couldn't say which. The sting in my eyes intensifies until it's intolerable, and when I open them, or focus them, I can't tell. They land on the blurry shape of my watch, moved to the bedside table. I'm not aware of reaching for it, only Caspian's arm extending in front of us and his hand picking up my watch like he knows it's precious and irreplaceable. He holds it close to my chest. My hands don't feel reliable enough to take it without ruining it forever, without ruining it even more, so I just lay them over the band and try to keep any part of me together. I don't know how long we sit this way or how long the excruciating split in me keeps opening. I don't know how long I make that awful keening noise. I don't know how long Caspian talks to me before I hear him again. It's still ticking, he says. The hands are moving. It'll be all right. I look through dark, watery vision. The second hand is moving. It's still keeping time. What happened to this watch? The second time Caspian asks, I hear the full implication. This watch, not your watch. You weren't supposed to know. I sound less mortally wounded and more badly injured. How did you know? Caspian tilts his palm, making the watch rock gently against my fingertips. This has to be, 15 years old? 20? It doesn't go with the rest of you. The rest of me? The rest of you is new. There's usually a reason a man looks new all over except in one place. It was... The pressure in my chest increases, but like a tide going out, it doesn't overwhelm. I don't have the strength to hold it on the shore, so I let it go. It was my brother's. He was wearing it when... Caspian does not prompt me. He doesn't urge me on. He puts his hand flat on my chest, over my heart, and waits. Damn this broken thing. It wants to spew itself everywhere at the first sign of safety. When he died, I started that sentence a lifetime ago. When he died by suicide. When he was 16. Caspian keeps waiting, although his palm presses ever so slightly into my chest. He's breathing, calm and rhythmic. It's so unfair that both of us are here breathing. So absurd. I came home from school. I can't tell him the rest. How it had been too quiet when I walked in the front door, nobody home. How it had been sunny, April, about to become May. How I couldn't explain the sick dread that came over me in the quiet sunshine. How I can still feel my clothes exactly as they were that day. Khaki pants I hated, and a navy polo shirt I didn't mind, and my undershirt sticking to my back because of my backpack. How the lock on my brother's bedroom door had been broken for as long as I could remember. How, when I pushed, the door snagged, and I thought, that's not a lock. How I thought the zip tie was a piece of string. And how, through the gap in the door, I couldn't see my brother's face. Only his arm, limp across his stomach. A bit of his shoulder, his chest, which didn't move at all. I found him when I came home from school. Oh, sweetheart. I didn't think there was any more space between us, but Caspian gathers me closer. I imagine there's nothing outside the circle of his arms. There wasn't anything. If I keep talking, the worst might happen. I might get all that broken glass back in the container of my chest and be stuck with it. If I don't keep talking, I'll be stuck with it anyway. What was it Caspian said? No following seas? I tried, but there wasn't anything I could... No, he agrees. Sometimes there isn't anything. If there wasn't anything, you didn't know. I wish I knew. I wish... You're scared half to death. All this wishing is killing you. So what if it did? I've had the thought too often. If it did, I know an entire family who would come apart at the seams without you. They'd be fine. It's not like I'm It's not like I can't stand in front of them forever. There's lots of things that are bigger than you are. I can't do it again. I can't be the one who... Caspian sighs. You think you can avoid capsizing by pretending it's not possible? It's not how it goes. It's worked out pretty well so far. Sure, he says, holding me tighter. It hurts. I hope he never lets go. I can't believe I broke his watch. He'll be so... I don't know what to do. My voice thins again. There's a headache on the horizon. A massive one, if the thrum in my temples is anything to go by. Do you know when to stop? I let out a breath that's a weak relative of a laugh. No, and I bet you're going to say this isn't about me either. I only said that because you liked it. Caspian takes the watch and lays it carefully on the table. Then he leans over me, takes my hands in his and looks me in the eye. You were fucking incredible. Now, keep being incredible and stay where I put you. Lucky for both of us, staying is all I can do. My mind slips into a haze, not unlike the one I was in before, only this one is lighter and clearer and more wrung out. Or I'm wrung out. I'm not sure what to do with the fact that I've told Caspian, a man I've daydreamed about and lusted after for 2 fucking years, a secret I swore I'd never tell anyone. I don't know if I feel unburdened or simply high on endorphins and tears. It's probably some combination of both. It feels both strange and completely normal to let myself be pulled along on the current of Caspian's will without having to predict it or prepare for it or pilot any of the components behind the scenes. It feels exceptionally strange to find myself so tired. I've never been down like this before, far enough to be petulant and hungry and needy, far enough to let it show. Caspian is very pleased with himself. He washes my hair in the shower with a satisfied grin on his face and says things like, "So high-strung I can't believe you didn't snap before now," and "What was everybody else looking at, the show you were putting on?" and "Oh, come on, complain a little more so I can hear it." By the time we leave the shower, I'm firmly in the midst of a cranky, all-encompassing fatigue that Caspian finds absolutely delightful. I find it lovely and terrible and long-forgotten and unfamiliar. Caspian turns on a few low lights. He's had food sent up from one of the restaurants in the building. He makes me drink water, which I complain about without knowing why. Then there's the bed. The lights off, the moonlight pale on the sheets. A momentary confusion. I shouldn't still be here, should I? Caspian telling me in no uncertain terms that I'm staying exactly where I am tonight. His arms around me. A faint trembling. It's me coming down. Coming up? Staying. 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 My breathing evens out to match Caspian's. His arm flexes over me. His leg stretches to find its position next to mine. I can feel his steady alertness. I can feel mine, which is fading, floating. What's Dev short for? Memories stream by in the dark. Dev, my brother calls. Devereaux. Devereaux. French, says Caspian. Yeah. Yes. The cadence of his breathing reminds me of waves on sand. Means from Evreux. Don't know why they put the extra E in there, but anyway. It's on the River Iton. I knew that. I might have known that. Have you been? Yes. What's it like? Beautiful. The smallest pause. Go back further and it's from the word for a yew tree. You should see the ones in the churchyards. Aren't they a bad sign? Don't they mean doom? Maybe. but they also stand for immortality, death and rebirth forever. I like that. Forever. Banks of the river, Caspian muses. He brushes his fingertips over my belly. What was your brother's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Astonishing. I haven't said it in years. Whatever Caspian did took down some wall in my head, or my heart, or my soul. For once, the thought of saying my brother's name doesn't make me want to sink into the ground. Ben. It's an echo of the hundreds of times I called his name before he was gone. From across the house, from across the playground, from across a tree-lined path in our neighborhood. I wanted him to wait for me. He always did. Except for once. French too? Benoit? I can't speak, so I nod. Blessed, Caspian says. There's a pair for you. How? I can't open my eyes, but what little energy I have left clings hard to Caspian's voice. It could be gone tomorrow. It should be gone tomorrow. He's supposed to be a stranger. Blessed how? The shore is where you come home to. He always had it in sight. I didn't. The heartache tips the balance. He left. A riverbank always waits, Steph. It's always the one who's there when you get back. Caspian makes a soft sound, like he's remembering something or someone. If you want to stay, you have to watch them go. It takes a long time to answer. I don't want to. I know. The dream feels real. My mother, hovering next to me in the department store, both of us leaning over a case. The store smells like fake cinnamon and real snow, and a hint of her perfume. My heart beats hard. I should be embarrassed about being this excited, but the second Ben said he wanted a watch, I wanted to be the one who picked it out. The choice is obvious. Ben doesn't like metal watch bands. He likes old movies and old notebooks. He likes skateboarding and putting on a collared shirt and pretending he owns a bookstore. That one. I don't touch the glass, but I do keep my hand over the watch. I don't want anyone else to take it. That's the one he'd want. My mom's shoulder bumps mine. He would, she agrees, her voice sparkling with conspiratorial excitement. You wait, he'll never take it off. Dev. I turn away from the counter at the sound of my brother's voice. The department store is gone, and so is the winter. We're in a clearing with a neat stone cottage in the middle. Ben's on a lawn chair, his feet propped up on a stump, a waist-high stack of books next to him. The breeze smells like sunscreen and sunshine and a river. I can't see the water, but I know it's there. Beyond the trees, there's a wide green field dotted with tiny white flowers. Daisies? Ben watches my face, his finger stuck in his book to mark the page. It's still ticking. He's not posing a question. My watch. Yes? It's still going. His expression gets pointed, meaningful. I know. Yeah, I know it is. He taps his empty wrist. You're only borrowing it, okay? The wind picks up. I have a sense of pressure at altitude or before a storm, a familiar chill, two low voices, a door opening, then closing, warmth and weight, someone in bed with me. I'll bring it, I promise him. I miss you. Don't come too early. Ben's clearing is losing its color. The dream is fading out. His smile is as bright as it ever was. I miss you too, Devi, but I don't want it back until you're done. I wake up to the sound of someone whistling. To the sound of Caspian whistling. His feet propped on the arm of the sofa, his hands folded behind his head. I sit up and stare at him. He keeps whistling. I lie back down on the pillows. A minute later, the bed dips. He perches on the edge closest to me and ruffles my hair. Hey, stranger. God, don't say that. You sure? You thought I should be a stranger last night. That was... I cover my head with a pillow. That was a misjudgment. I didn't know what I was saying. Right. Caspian slides his hand under the pillow and curls his fingers around my nape. I'm heading out soon. Fuck. Okay. He takes the pillow away and looks down at me, dark eyes lit with exasperation. Are we strangers or not? Because if we're not, you're coming with me. I can't. It's both automatic and wrong. Phoenix Enterprises is closed for the rest of the summer. I could, depending on where you're going. I'm going on vacation. The phrase brings back truly unpleasant memories. I'm going to have to deal with whatever happened at Phoenix. My tantrum, my breakdown. Did I resign? Jesus Christ. Where? A place upstate. I'm staying with friends. I'm about to say which friends when it lands. You cannot be fucking serious. Caspian puts on a stony expression. I am very fucking serious. I'm going upstate to a friend's new place. I heard there were kayaks. I can't believe they sent you to babysit me. Who? He asks in all innocence. The hills. No one sends me anywhere. I'm a man of fair winds and following seas. I thought you said there weren't any here. Might have been wrong. He shrugs. We'll see. I fight him on it. Of course I do. I'm not going on a vacation upstate without righteous struggle. It ends with me on my knees in the shower, Caspian's hands in my hair. Jesus, Dev, that's good, he says above me, his voice humming through him. I get closer, licking down his shaft until, if I try my hardest, I can tongue his balls. Jesus, he says again, and the rest is incoherent sound. He tips my face up and I take him into my mouth again. You're perfect, he says, his eyes locked on mine. I want more of you. Can I have more of you? I can't say yes, so I show him instead. We get out of the shower after Caspian has demonstrated the talents of his hands to my benefit. He's also sent my clothes to be cleaned and had someone get a bag from my apartment. I lift it up and raise my eyebrows. I didn't say I was going. He presses my back against the door and kisses me, slow, leisurely, like we're already on fucking vacation. I said you were going, he says when he stops to breathe, his eyes lingering on my mouth. And you're all ready, except... He disappears into the condo, appearing a few seconds later. Wouldn't want you to forget this. It's my watch. Ben's watch. The glass is whole. The second hand is still keeping time. How did you... This is not the behavior of a stranger. This is the behavior of a man with a crush. At minimum. You did this? I know a guy. Caspian slides his hands into his pockets. It won't break again, he promised. Put it on so we can get going. I'm not, the words stick. I'm not in the family. It's a family vacation. Can't be the riverbank and expect people not to come home to you. But they're also trying to get you to come home to them. That's not... If I'm supposed to be... Whatever you are, you don't have to be alone. I could go with you, or wait with you, if you want. A shrug, a smile. No need to decide right now. We can talk about it on the way. Only if we can even things out. He arches an eyebrow. What things? You know a lot about me. I want to know about you, obviously. I'll tell you whatever you want. Obviously. I let out a huge sigh. I can't walk in after everything and announce I fell in love overnight. Caspian's eyes go wide, all sparkling heat and amusement. That happened to you too? Thought it was just me. Hell of a story if it's true. It is. Oh God, it is. It's true. The last thing I put on before we leave the condo is my watch. The first thing I reach for is Caspian's hand. This has been Safe Word by Amelia Wilde, read for you by Wesley Paul.
And we're back. Hey, lady listeners, thank you so much for listening to this week's audiobook, Safe Word by Amelia Wilde. Thank you so much, Amelia, for giving us Safe Word and letting us play it on the podcast. We appreciate you so much. You are absolute darling, and you're welcome back anytime, as long as you bring us fun stuff like this. Up next week on the podcast, we have Fiona Davenport with a Christmas book, and I'm so excited. I know you might be thinking, Leah, is it a little too early? No, shut the fuck up. It's not early, okay? You're going to listen to it and you're going to like it. You can listen to Christmas in October. And if you don't want to listen to Christmas in October, then you don't love me, okay? Just, if you don't love me, just say that and, go from there. But if you do love me, listen to this book because it's going to be great. And I love Fiona Davenport. So she's going to be with us next week. It's called The One I Want for Christmas. We're super excited to play it. So yeah, make sure you join us back here next week. And grab a book box. It helps support the podcast. 100% of your purchase goes back into creating more audiobooks for you to listen to. So, I think that's everything. Yeah. Okay. That's enough, right? Fuck your day up. Make today your bitch. Don't be a dick. Bye, guys.
Read me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. Read me romance. You could take a look in a book, that's fine. Or you could sit back, relax, and unwind and read me romance. Read me romance.